Hello, welcome to the AC Silver channel and store. I'm going to talk to you today about this exceptional Queen Anne Britannia standard silver tankard. A fine example of its type, made in the William III period in Britannia standard silver. This king introduced Britannia standard silver in 1697. Britannia standard was 95.84% purity out of 1,000 of silver. So relative to 925 standard silver, obviously a higher purity. This example has been finely made. It's got a lovely leaf bordered cartouche with engraved initials to the center. It's got two sets of very clear hallmarks, one struck to the side of the body, one to the surface of the tankard. Very often on a rounded surface, such hallmarks can deteriorate over time and become quite worn, whereas these have survived very well. It's usually a sign that a tankard has been handled very carefully, not overly polished, and has managed to sort of stay in this really fine condition. At a date of 1703, obviously over 300 years old, it really is just a fine example. These particular style of double-stepped covered tankards, they became popular in the 1670s, quite mass-produced. Obviously such important examples like this would have been sold to somebody with some standing, but still a utilitarian piece of silver, one that would have been used regularly for drinking ale. But this one has been sort of carefully handled, not overly used. However, this type of tankard has many pieces from this period, whether it's a coffee pot or a sauce boat, quite utilitarian. They were made in large numbers, as I mentioned, and often the underside of such pieces could be quite crudely finished, such as this tankard. You know, the silversmiths paid more attention to the construction and the look aesthetically of the piece rather than any fine detailing and finishing to the underside. So very often this is what you will locate in antique pieces of silver. It can catch people out by surprise. I remember selling a coffee pot to a gentleman who made a comment when he received it, and he looked to the underside and he could see this crude finish. His comment was it made by a plumber? It was totally original and it was a fine example, but it's just the way these utilitarian pieces were made, and as I say, the attention wasn't given so much to underside of such pieces. As I say, this example is a fine piece in excellent condition, and as you can imagine, sold with my highest recommendations. If any further information was required, either phone the store or please do not hesitate to drop me an email. I'll be happy to answer any queries or questions you may have. In the meantime, I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.